good. The 40s have not been collected. The 50s have been collected, but are not complete. So we now head from here, clear across the map. Since we're running empty, I might just run via the road. But like I said, still struggles. 16 miles an hour up that hill. And then coming across the top here. Got a little drop there, which the tractor can cope with, and we don't really have any options coming out of our farm. But then you come up this way, and there's this steep hill down here, and steep hill up the other side, which just drains so much momentum. Especially if you're fully loaded. We're not, so... we're okay now. Although this is going to lose us some speed. Yeah, and that's why I wanted that farm track created, so that I can now run fairly level up to the grain mill. What other things do we need to buy? We need to buy the grain mill. No, we got the grain mill. We need to buy the oil mill. But after that, I think we got a lot of flour there. I think we're probably fairly good. We'll need the sugar refinery when we harvest the sugar beets. And we'll need the dairy when we get some cows, but cows are a short way off, although potentially not much. But once we get cows, our during the year income is going to be reduced because we won't be able to sell all of the silage. I think coming back we'll take one of these paths on the left and go farm track it over there. Okay, so since the last two contracts are at deliver at the bale market, I'm gonna hope that when we dump the bales there, we will get credit for completing the contracts. Otherwise, we're going to have to get the mower out again. And I just cleaned it. Okay. Well, I managed not to hit any hedges on the way in. Okay, these are the last two fields. And I'm pretty sure I've got more than 28 bales. So, going to be down here twice. Okay. Oh yeah. We might have more than 2 trailers worth. And it's probably going to be really annoying, like, oh, there's 3 bales left at the end. And 2 more. Alrighty. So now we get to drive clear across the map. If you want to pause the video, you can obviously count the number of bales left in that field. I think there's more than 28. It's my gut guess. I could turn, actually, yeah, why don't we do that? We'll turn right. Not sure how clear this will work out as. I think there's a track on the left just up here. And we'll cut through that way. It goes back on ourselves. Such is life. Actually, the other thing I can do, because there are grass fields here, there are cut-throughs across these grass fields. I'm not going to, but you can do that if you feel so inclined. Oh, so FarmSim25, Giants have confirmed green beans as the final crop. So we have peas, green beans, and spinach. And we do know that the green beans and the spinach use an oxbow harvester. Which costs just shy of 700,000 monies. So if you, and they're unique, so you can't be a spinach green bean harvester. Hodge173, good morning, welcome to Saturday stream. So yeah, with the new crops, you, unlike the premium crops where I do believe the radishes and red onions and all of those, you didn't have to you just had the one harvester and you could then harvest any of those crops. With the peas, green beans and spinach, not sure about peas, I don't think we've seen a pea harvester, but with the spinach and green beans, you have to get a harvester specific to the crop, so it's not just change the header and you're good to go. Still a ways to go. What is the time? We've been at this for about an hour, just hauling bales. But that's almost done. Like I said, I think we've got at least a trailer's worth of bales still to collect, which I think is going to be a little bit annoying. And I think we're probably going to end up with more bales than will fit on the trailer. I mean, if it works out well, I could just move the bales off of that field, claim all the contracts I can to get paid for. I have to take the mower out. We'll take the mower out, turn it on, move it 3 inches, claim those contracts. And I could take the little farm truck over to pick up 1 or 2 bales and transport them that way. Don't really need to take this behemoth out there just to move to potentially 2 or 3 bales. Ugh. And I managed not to hit the stop. Oh, that's not good. Not to hit the lamppost. £38,000. We might want to go forwards here. Oh, we're also getting more than 10%. Income on environmental. That is also a good thing. Okay, let's check contracts again. 57 is now complete, so we'll claim that one. Yes, I know I've cleared one of 41 or 43, I just don't know which one. So I've got paid again. So we're up to 220,000 money. Yes, it doesn't make the crop new, it just makes the way you harvest it different. It's kind of like you can grow corn and you can either forage it or you can harvest it. So I think it's things like barley, sorghum, etc. You can take a harvester to them, or you can take a swather to them. Okay, well that saves driving up and down hills. Oh, I don't own any of the fields around there. I was going to say, I can finally put a tree, like in the corner of this field, so it marks significant junctions. I want to put a tree at the top there so that It's a little bit more obvious when I want to turn left onto this track. All right. So we miss out all the horrendous hills. Okay, and yeah, I mean there is that, but yeah, I know. There is a real life farmer, Kate Zag. She's young. Her delivery's a little annoying, or I find it a little annoying. I'm old, but she does cover their farm. They do swath their harvest and then go back with the harvesters with a pickup header. But I think it's more a thing that you would do on big farms rather than the small farms I usually play Farming Simulator with. However, that's not to say if I do decide to run with a US or Canadian map, I won't feature that. But the thing is when you start a new farm, or when you start a new save, you're really limited in what you can buy. So it's one of the reasons why I tend to suggest what you really want to do, unless I didn't press that button first. Unless you are planning on being a sugar beet farmer or a sugar cane farmer, or that type of thing, where you're extremely focused on what you're farming. If you don't have a specific plan, your best bet is just to get a harvester and a draper, because you can harvest so many crops, and that's your starting load, and then it doesn't cost significantly more to add corn and sunflowers to that mix, and it doesn't, you're still not paying any extra for harvester. You're just buying a new header, but all of the other supporting equipment goes with it. You'll need a planter, but if you're starting out, a 3-meter planter to complement your 3-meter seeder is not going to break the bank. So you can add 2 new crops with just buying a planter and a header. But if you're going to, and the other issue is, of course, is there tractor hauled alternatives? You can start a very cheap potato or sugar beet operation if you get a good sized tractor and the tractor hauled harvesting equipment. So we didn't quite make a full thing. But now we've got all the bales off, we can get paid. So how about we do that? Paid, and I get paid, and we have field 8 is left to complete. And we get to sell these, which may be around 29,000 plus bonus, 3,000 bonus possibly. But yeah, if you go swathing, then you are, I don't know if you can swath canola or canola seeds or things like that. So you might be somewhat limited in what you can cut. With a draper, you can now you'll be able to add long grain rice to your crop. Again, don't know what seeder planter you're going to need for that. Whether it's a unique one or one that shares with other crops. It's one of the reasons I've never done a cotton farm. Because cotton, while it shares a planter with sugar beets, corn and soybeans, and sunflowers, it needs a very, very expensive harvester. But you can be, you could start life as a cotton farmer, but it's your only crop until you earn some money. So it depends whether you want a flexible start or a specific. I have a goal. I am going to do it this way because that's my goal. I did do. Oh, what was it? I can't remember if there's a Lancy Boy map or an Alien Paul map in 17. It might have been 19. I did it as a weekday thing. One of the fields happened to have potatoes in it. And I'm going to buy the field because it's surrounded by all the other fields I'm buying. So this is my farm yard, and these fields around are the ones I want to buy. And it was a very, very small field, so the fields were really cheap. And so that's kind of the direction I went with, really cheap fields, so we'll buy a lot of them. And there was this one field in the middle that had potatoes in it. And I was like, oh, well, I could just plough it in and plant something next year. I can't remember if I was using seasons or not. Or, well, I could buy a tractor harvester and harvest the stuff. So that's actually what I did. And I had a multi-fruit silo on the farm. I can't remember whether that was cluded or was just what I bought, but it allowed me to store the potatoes in it. So, okay, we'll get the tractor, we'll harvest the potatoes, we'll drop the potatoes in the silo, and then it turned into I've got the potato harvester, so I might as well just buy myself a potato seeder, which I did, and then I can plant another field of potatoes with the crop from the previous year. So I used potatoes as seedlings, planted a field of potatoes, slightly bigger one than I'd harvested, and then I sold all of the potatoes that I had left over for profit. And I can't remember, I might have played 3-4 years, but every year I planted a successively bigger field with potatoes, using the crop from the previous year as seed potatoes and then selling the excess at the end of it. You make a lot of money from potatoes. It's just a royal pain in the butt to harvest, and you need somewhere to store them. So if you don't have a multi-grain silo, you have to dump them on the floor somewhere, and they pile up quite big. Same with sugar beets, they can pile up quite big. I did on Oakfield Farm, on Farm Sim 19, I had sugar beets, and I dumped them in a shed. The shed walls weren't solid, so the sugar beets sort of morphed through the walls and caused all sorts of graphical glitches and made it really difficult to pick them up. But I did eventually find a suitable storage location, which happened to be a huge grey silo, potentially a manure silo for the cows on the field. But yeah, I just used one of the really big silos to dump all the sugar beets in. Well, I was harvesting like 2 million litres per year off a couple of fields. I did have the big sugar beet harvester. But you make so much money from it that it was funding massive equipment increases. So yeah, I'm not as adverse to sugar beet or potato harvesting or farming as I used to be. It's a royal pain in the butt because you have to service the equipment constantly, but you get paid for your troubles. So it's not like a totally horrendous. I parked that over a little bit too far, I think. Still, that's now in. And contracts, we have no, we've got paid for everything. This one has not been completed. I'm going to have to take the mower out. So, engine's off there. And I mean, literally, this is not going to be a big deal. Zoom out. Long haul. Huh? No, that's what I want the cows for. Oops. Unless he's saying he just turned up and got an ad break. Ended up in the air. Ah. Yeah, you don't want to do that unless you're in an aeroplane or have a parachute. Although my argument is, if the aeroplane's working, why do you want to jump out of it? Oh, okay, it's not this field. It is the smallest field, and I was worried that now we come in here, it's all pristine cut and everything. Admittedly, there was that one time where I was I'd gone on a group retreat and they had bunk beds, and I woke up I was dreaming about parachuting and I woke up on the way down. Quite literally. Crashed into the ground. The guy on the bottom bunk was like, "Oh, are you okay?" "Yep, just parachuting." Okay, is that done now? Nope. Ah, okay, we'll cut the corners then. As I said, that's the problem with these fields is, there we go, we're done. I know that one. And we can get paid for that. That's good. So these smaller fields, the middle bit is, you've got to do. Oh, those didn't lock in place. I don't know what it is, but there's sort of